I know you don't want to say this. It's his job to lose.
I mean, I think there's competition at second base. I think there's, Freeman is very capable at playing third base as well. So yeah, Josh is a really good player, and I'm looking for him to take a hold of the job and not look back. But there's guys in camp that can play, and we're looking for the best possible lineup, defensively, offensively, the whole deal, roster construction. But I'm looking forward to seeing Josh this spring take a hold of the position again. He had a tough year for himself personally. He sent down and came back up and did obviously much better after the send out. But again, there's a lot of the other guys in that clubhouse. There's some motivation. He's one of the ones that's very motivated and can't wait to get going.
When Marcus was here, he talked about the wrist surgery that he had when he was a player, and that it took him another full year after he was healthy again to really get his swing back, which you've seen from Josh this first week. I mean, I know live BPs are not a great judge for hitting, but he seems like he's the one guy who's making consistent hard contact. What do you feel like his swing is right now compared to what you saw last year with this?
Well, I think I'd rather be, hit in the face than hit in the hands as a baseball player. The hand injury is so challenging to come back from. It's your carrying tool when you are as a hitter. So it does take a lot longer than people think. And it's, and as a competitor, you try to rush back at times and you're not ready. So he's healthy, he's ready to go. You're right, the live BPs don't tell the full story, but it's better than striking out all the time, right? So he's making hard, consistent contact. He's in a good position. He's working hard. He's working on the trajectory. He's working different machines. Him and JV have built a really nice rapport so far in Syntron. So it's been a good camp. Early, we haven't played a game yet. But I really like what I'm seeing out of Josh, the way he's going about it. By the way, he's a really good defender. So everything has been good.
When you say you want to seize the job, what does that look like in the context of spring training? Is it doing all the stuff you just listed? Is there more to it?
Well, I think getting back to being a really good hitter. He used to spray it all over the place. I'm not looking for him to just be somebody he's not. I'm not trying to get him to hit 30 to 40 home runs. I'm looking for him to be a really good hitter. What does that mean? I think I believe in average. I know the industry doesn't believe in batting average. I think it's really nice when you look up and you have a nice average next to your name. And I obviously still think he can slug. I think he's really good with runners in scoring position. The way he goes about his business is pro. Defensively, like I said, he moves really well and he's really good at third base. So I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes as far as his process and what he's doing to try to get back to the player he was. And so it's not just the production, it's what do the outs look like, what does the chase rate look like, all that stuff. And again, I don't want him to be somebody he's not. I just want him to get back to who he was, and then once he figures that out, then we can start talking about who he could be.
What stats do matter? What do you look at when you look at numbers? Where do your eyes go?
We could be here all day. I love the game. I love studying the game. I like a lot of numbers. I like as far as hitter, I like the OPS. I like chase rate. I like in zone damage. I like a lot of different things. Slug for some guys matters for sure. But if you're striking out 220 times, that doesn't really matter to me. I like tough outs. So the tougher the out you are, 1 through 9, the better off we're going to be in the long run. So I just don't like these huge gaps in being able to game plan against you. Of there's one way to get you out and you can't, and I can do that the whole time and you'll be 0 for 4, every single game. I like baseball players, and I like baseball players can change the game in a number of different ways. So when I look at numbers, my eyes go in a number of different directions, but to give you just one, I just don't have just one. I do have a lot of numbers I like.
What about pitching? Pitching stats. Which ones do you like?
I like strikes. I like strikes a lot. I like swing and miss. I like in zone. What do they do with your in zone stuff? Is there damage? Or do you pitch ahead? Do you stay ahead? Can you throw pitch anytime, any count, anywhere? Like that stuff matters to me. Your walk rate definitely matters to me. I don't like guys that walk guys. Like that just doesn't resonate with me. It's hard to do your job when you're consistently walking guys. But I like the mentality on the mound. That's not really a data point, but the walks will hurt you, as you know.
This organization, it feels like, particularly under CY, strikeout to walk rate is a particularly important metric. You mentioned strikes, you mentioned walk rate. I assume that the same thing applies with you.
For sure. I mean, I'd love to have every guy have swing and miss stuff. You know, that's not the reality. Not everybody can be that way. So we have a really good defense. Can you just have them put the ball in play and we'll take our best shot there? Is the thought behind that. That's everywhere. That's how I grew up in St. Louis as well. You know, we had not too many swing and miss guys. We had guys that put it on the ground a lot, and we had a really good defense with a tough ballpark to hit in. The new Bush was not easy to hit in unless you were Albert, right? So I think I've had the same type of philosophy as CY when it comes to here, and pitching and defense still, I believe, matter, even though you guys, you know, led the league, and you know, I think it was an outlier type of year, but I still believe that's the recipe.
So, who has caught your eye in these live BPs?
Hitters or pitchers?
Pitchers, please.
I thought Mackenzie Gora was really good yesterday. I've said Collier a few times. He's, you know, filled up the strike zone. The young kids and Lopez and Santos have been really good. Trent Adu, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I thought that was, is that how you say that? That's the correct pronunciation, yes. He opened some eyes the other day with his live.
Baumler yesterday.
Baumler's curveball is going to be really effective. So he has a 12-6 curveball that he can strike and strike the ball with as good as anybody in the league right now. And the fastball he threw for strikes yesterday. So I really liked him. He's 95, 96, filled up the strike zone. He was not scared of that. The players that we put on that field yesterday was a real lineup, and you know, he was on the attack. So he had a really good, you know, kind of first day attacking to some, you know, really good hitters.
How much better does a Rule 5 guy have to be to make a team? Like a team that wants to contend and needs, you know, value in every one of its bullpen spots.
Yeah, I mean, there's examples where contending teams have relief pitchers in their bullpen that have been very successful, and I can't think of a reason why he can't be that guy if he fills up the strike zone, if he controls the running game. You know, there's a lot of other things than just, you know, going out to spring training and, you know, blowing it by guys, and you know, you don't know what part of the lineup certain guys are facing also out there. You know, the starters could be out after 4 innings and he's facing some AA and AAA guys that, you know, so it's you just got to watch it. You got to trust your eyes, trust your coaches, and then see how it looks, you know, throughout spring training. But all he can do is control what he can control, and right now he's controlling those, and it's throwing strikes, being a really good kid in the clubhouse, and so everything he's doing right now is he's doing the best of his ability, and again, he hasn't had many innings above AA at all. So I think how he's handling himself is pretty impressive.
Did Santos is wearing something on his left hand after that scary moment? Is he for a couple of
Santos, probably the highlight of my day was watching Santos yesterday on how he came back after a comebacker with Wyatt and Corey up next. He could have very easily walked off the mound and said, I'm good. Instead, he wanted to finish what he started. I'm telling you, a lot of guys, veteran guys or rookie guys, would have walked off the mound. He's a tough kid. It's all I heard about when when I came here last year was this guy's got some dog and some fight in him. And first live I watched, like real live, was just that. So he's fine. He's X-rays, everything, we're good to go. And just again, I was highlighted my day yesterday.
You mentioned that in one of our, I don't think it was a briefing here, I think it was something back in our, but we had talked about Wyatt, and you said he's capable of winning an MVP. Correct? You believe that he's capable of winning that?
In his career, for sure.
In his career?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is in your mind, is he a franchise type player?
Yes, I think so. I mean, he can be a leader of a clubhouse. He does all the things the right way. He's everything that you want in a player. I mean, he's really good defensively. He cares defensively. He cares about base running. He cares about hitting. He cares about his teammates. He cares about the community. He cares about the fan base, the organization. He's everything you want in a young player. You kind of forget that he's only has 2 years of big league time because it feels like he's just a veteran in that clubhouse. I think he's just starting to become and figure out who he is as a big leaguer, and that version is already really good. And I think the sky's the limit for this kid. I think with the guys that he has in the clubhouse, with Brandon and Corey to learn from and to, become who they, are, and, Corey, an MVP himself, a World Series MVP, I think is, I don't know. I think the world of Wyatt, and I absolutely think he can be the face of a franchise and the leader of a club. But I also not putting the pressure on him to be that. It can just happen organically. So there's none of us are saying you got to be this, that, or the other. It just let him play, let him do what he's been doing his whole career, and I think it's just going to organically happen and being the face of this franchise, along with some other really good players in there.
Is there a comp for you for him?
I'm not going to use a comp, but I have an idea of what he looks like sometimes. Yes.
Anybody that you played with?
There is one particular guy, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't like to say comps, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, then it's unfair because he's his own guy and he might be better. So we'll see what happens.
So when he hits a home run a lot batting practice yesterday, does that tell you anything?
He's good. I mean, confirms. I mean, again, there's live practices, and there's a curveball that he hit out, and he's a special player and a guy that you are trying to do whatever you can to keep him as healthy as he can through 162, because if he is just healthy, the numbers are going to be the numbers. He chases the right thing, right? He chases winning. He doesn't chase the numbers. And when you have guys that are looking at these leaders that are chasing winning, then that's how this thing goes. And so for a young player to chase winning like he does just doesn't happen everywhere. A lot of people chase numbers, and so I think that's why he's so respected.
So when I asked about live BPs, you said hitters or pitchers. So we always think it's for the pitchers, but the hitters get benefits from this as well. Correct.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can hit off a machine and BP all winter, and then here comes a live arm with legs and arms and everything else coming at you. It's just, you're just not used to it. So you try to put them in different situations also. Runners in scoring position, we'll tell them, hey, you got a guy on second and third and one out. You got a guy on second and no outs. And so you're trying to get their minds to go as well. And it's not just like go ahead and first pitch, try to hit a home run, right? So you're starting to gear them up for the game. And also we had guys that were getting steal jumps at the bases during the live. So yes, it's for the pitchers, but I also want these guys to start getting their minds to start thinking about game situation stuff as we're getting closer to the game.
Back to relievers real quick. What are you looking for this spring out of Josh Sborz as he kind of works his way back into form?
I don't know if I think he's throwing today, but I have to look at my list. I'm looking for strikes. I know he's worked hard to get the velo back, so he's trying to get the velo on the fastball back. His off speed has always been good. What's that look like? Can he land it, and then can he strike the ball as well? But I think he's looking to see what the velocity looks like. I know it's early, but I think that's what he's searching for, early on, and then not only just throw it and see what happens, but velocity with strikes.
Is he further ahead than you thought? I mean, it's been 10 days, or not even 10 days, but like when we asked about him on day one, it was like, we take it kind of slow. So is he ahead of?
I think he's right where he wants to be right now, and I think the live will show him, where he's at, because when there's a hitter and there's, I think it's much different than like a side, and so I think that's when he'll figure out, where he's at, and also this tight. I know it's still early, but after a guy's second bullpen sessions and first and second lives, there is some sort of regression a little bit because guys are just not used to being in cleats for hours at a time and PFPs plus lives plus whatever. So I think you'll start hitting a little bit of a I don't want to say tired, but like your body's feeling it, and then kind of push through that and get going. But he feels good right now, which is good to hear. So we'll see what the live looks like.
I was talking to somebody today, and he said, you throw all off season, you feel great, and then you get to spring training for some reason, whatever it is, you're going to do the same exact thing, and you're like there's a soreness. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know if it's adrenaline or.
Well, it's adrenaline, but there's more that there's competition now. It's not a facility, it's not a high school field, whatever it is. Like there's real competition, and you're kind of sizing yourself up. And then, oh, by the way, I got to get ready for a season and try to make a team. And so there's a lot of things that are going on with it. And you're sleeping pretty good in the off season, and the spring training comes, and you're thinking about different scenarios and your outings and competition again and all that stuff. So I think it's not only a physical, but it's a mental grind as well.